What's up, my fellow entrepreneurs? This is Mykel, the entrepreneur, coming back with some more entrepreneurial content. If you are an aspiring entrepreneur and you are thinking about starting, managing, or growing your side hustle or your business, please consider subscribing to my channel. You could do that by hitting that subscribe button, also banging on that notification bell. Today, I have a first on the podcast. Today, I'm interviewing my first partnership, which is really exciting because I've had a little bit of experience working with a partner in a business that I started, and I know that many of you guys might be bringing on partners and things like that. Just so you guys know, I will be dropping a video really soon where I'm talking about how to actually find a partner. So in order to get notified when I do drop that video, you have to subscribe to my channel. Once again, do that by hitting that subscribe button, also bang on that notification bell. I got Ericka in Orlando. They're actually local entrepreneurs. What they're doing right now in the community and how they're helping people reach their financial goals is just amazing. So I had to bring them onto the podcast. We're gonna listen to their interview right after the intro. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur. Hey, what? Well, I appreciate you guys coming in, man, and just getting ready, putting yourselves together, making sure you guys are ready to go. We hooked up a couple weeks ago, and when we started talking about you coming on the podcast, and honestly, ever since, I was like, man, I can't wait, because I actually have really started to indulge myself in the world of Forex. So that's number one. So the goal is to, let's just talk about your guys' business, how you guys connected. And then the goal is to get you guys back on so you guys can just give people game on Forex and how it changed your guys' life, how you guys are helping other people through your business and through the world of Forex. Because there's a lot to know that obviously you guys have game that you guys can share with people. But first, right. Who are you guys? What are you guys doing? Introduce yourself, Ericka. We'll have ladies go first, and then Orlando, go ahead and give us who you guys are and introduce yourself to the audience.
Why, thank you. My name is Ericka Tucker. I am 30 years young. I know I don't look like it, but I am. Hey, I have been in entrepreneurship for Jesus. It's been a while now. I want to say over 10 years, because I started with going to cosmetology school, and I now have my small business, Valley Soda Gold, which is in San Diego, California. And now I'm also a digital entrepreneur. I am a mother, a fiance, and, I'm just an overall family woman. So I just love being able to, help people out in so many different ways. And I forgot to say, I'm also a surrogate mother, for those of you who may not know, that I have babies for other people, and I help them as well, to complete their families.
That is a blessing. You just dropped it like it was nothing, girl. That's a big thing. That's a big thing.
Well, when I say it, unless I really explain it, people be like, oh, okay. Yeah. And then it just moves on. You know what I mean? But unless I say I have babies for other people, I've had multiple babies, more babies than I have of my own for other people. I've had 4 beautiful children for other people. And then I have my daughter, who is the oldest.
Yeah. That's a blessing. So that's amazing to hear.
My name is Orlando Franklin, definitely 34, born and raised San Diego, California. Shout out to, grew up in North Park, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Long story short, man, I really got tired of just hopping from job to job, and I always found myself looking for just that opportunity. And it was just weird to me how I would get a great job, but then feel like I didn't belong there. Wow. And so I decided to step into entrepreneurship because I knew that was something that God had already placed in my heart to do. Okay. It was just a matter of not if, but when I found the right opportunity, or when it came around. I knew I had to hop on it, man, because and this is not to downplay anybody that has a 9-to-5, that works hard, that has the careers. That's very respectable. Nothing wrong with that. Me personally, I just don't really see. I didn't really see the reason to keep helping other people build their dreams, who I never get to meet, as opposed to building my own dream and enhancing everybody's life around me. And so it's really all about impact, to keep it a being. It's always been about impact. I know my life's been impacted. So my goal and journey is to impact everybody else around me, to literally change the trajectory of their lives and their families' lives after that.
Man, that is, couldn't say it better myself, man. To be honest with you, that's the reason why I started my YouTube channel and this podcast, because I felt like I was in an island of my own, because I was that person that was working a 9-to-5, and then I had my side hustles, and I felt the same way you felt, Orlando, like going to work, knowing that I'm making someone else rich, and like not able to do the same thing for my family and for myself. I always felt like I was sacrificing myself and working so hard to stay behind. So that's the reason why I really wanted to start the podcast, to actually share my experience with other people that are in the same situation and help them grow and say, hey, this is how you start your side hustle. This is how you start a business. This is how you actually go down and get your fictitious business end. This is how you go get your DBA bank account. This is how you write a business plan. For people that look like us that grew up in San Diego in this community, we're not taught that in school. We're taught to go get W-2 jobs and not W-9 or how to start a nonprofit. We're not taught that. We have to go seek that information. So I wanted to be a beacon for people to be able to come in and do that and be able to get that information from someone that looks like them, that is walking the walk and talking the talk. So that is one of the reasons why I brought you guys on, because I see the great work that you guys are doing on social media platforms, and you're like you said, you're always giving back, man. And I can just see from the way that you're interacting with people and things like that. So the goal is for you guys is just to share your guys' business, your guys' venture together, and how it came about, how you guys manage it, some advice that you would give to other entrepreneurs that are thinking about getting into it and doing it. So let's just start there. What's your guys' business? What do you guys do?
All right. Well, so we're involved in a company called I Am Mastery Academy. I actually became a part of the business maybe around like 2 years and some change ago. So roughly almost 3 years ago, I got introduced to the foreign exchange market. And all foreign exchange really is learning how to trade one currency pair against another, and you profit off the price change. Right. So I was introduced to that about 3 years ago. And so long story short, I really didn't have a lot of personal mentorship and networking. I didn't really have all of that together. And so, like me, I kind of had that job mentality where I was just always looking for the next thing. So I wasn't really zoned in on it. And so I kind of let it go. And then maybe I want to say probably around 7 months ago, my business partner, Ericka, who is my mentor now in the business, actually, I came aboard and got introduced to a new platform that was brought onto, I Am Mastery Academy by HFX. So we know FRX is talking about traditional Forex market, but HFX goes right into high frequency. So we always like to say, AKA money in minutes, getting in and out with the bag like we're making tea. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to REBELLIONAIRES. You know what I'm saying? That's her fiance. But literally giving people an opportunity to make money in minutes. Right. And so it's a much easier concept to learn, but you're still doing the same thing. You're learning how to trade one foreign currency pair against another, and you just profit off the price change. So like a rough example will be, say we went to Mexico. We'll just use Mexico for an example, right? Okay, so we went to Mexico, all of us three, and we all collectively put together a pot of $1,000 that we wanted to spend for play money. So before we go across the border, we exchange that, right, for the pesos, for $1,000 worth of pesos. So let's say we get down there, we run into Torian and we run into Perfect, right? The whole group down there like, oh, y'all with Michael? Okay, yay. Man, y'all good. Y'all money's no good. So we don't spend nothing. So on the way back, we take the $1,000 collectively we put together in pesos, and we exchange that now because we're coming back over to the US dollars, right? So we exchange that for our currency, but in turn, something happens. They give us back 3,000, right? So what happened? You trade one foreign currency pair against another, and you profit off the price change. That's participating in the Forex market. So off of $1,000 investment, now we've now made $2,000 in profit. So we came back to $3,000. What happened with that was that while we were in Mexico, the price of the peso actually rose up above the US dollar. So we profited off the price change. Dang. That's literally all we're teaching people how to do, bro.
And that's the good thing about it, man, is I actually got introduced to this from a good friend of mine. His name is Memphis, and I had him on the channel way back, and he brought me up on game about it. And I'm like, dude, what? So you literally just looking at this price change and that price, and you just make the money. You just sit and watch it go up, and then once it hits what you bid, then you like, what? You could really make money doing that. So it's crazy, man. But like, what got you both? I know, Ericka, you said you're mentoring Orlando, so I got to get you in the conversation. Like, what got you into it and exposed you to it?
You know what's wild is I was actually, again, I was working a 9 to 5. I was working at the casino, actually, Hamul. And I went on maternity leave. I was a surrogate and I was pregnant with twins. Now, this was my first journey being pregnant with twins. And I stopped working at 25 weeks. I said, I can't do this anymore. I was a slot attendant on my feet for 8 to 10 hours a day. And I'm like, Doc, I can't even barely walk. And so she took me off of work. I went on maternity leave. That's when I really kicked my business into high gear. And, you know, when you off work for so long, and what's really weird is whenever I'm a surrogate, I never go back to work. It's always an opportunity for me to do something else. So I really was able to position myself to really focus, you know, 10 toes down on my business. And I started to build a name for myself. And once I was off of work for so long, I was like, look, Lord, I ain't trying to go back to the casino. I was like, so just give me something so I can at least supplement my income and I'll be cool. And so as I'm looking, you know, through jobs, I see my friend who I've known for years. We grew up, I'm a PK. So my friend I grew up in church with, I hadn't talked to her in like over 6 years. I'm on social media scrolling. I'm always seeing her videos and I'm just like, she's talking too much. Next. And for whatever, I always believe that everything happens for a reason. And I'm like, I just keep seeing these videos. I said, let me just listen to it. And so I listened to her video. It piqued my interest, obviously. And I'm a little lightweight nosy. So I just was like, girl, what you talking about? And we got on the phone. We caught up for like 2 hours. And she was like, look, give me 60 days. She was like, I know it. And I'm a skeptic, right? I was just like, my mama told me if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. But when I can tell you that this sounds very good to be true, and it is not, like, it is everything that it says it is. Like, she was like, give me 60 days. She was like, and just follow my lead. You can follow directions, you can make some money. And I'm like, bet. I had some extra dollars, obviously, from the surrogacy. I wasn't, you know, starving for oodles and noodles. So I was really trying to figure out how to invest this money, because it wasn't until this surrogacy that I actually had a chunk of change that I could look at and be like, okay, let me start to try to invest something. Because I have my dad who is an entrepreneur, and, you know, I've always had that hustle in me, right? I'm the only one in my family in the kids section that really is like about her hustle. And so I was like, all right, bet, I got you. And I signed up. Usually she'd be like, you know, it's not this easy to get people to just, you know, get into this opportunity. And I was like, look, I'm a big risk taker. So I was like, you know, the worst that it can do to me is not work. And it's only 3 figures. So I was like, bet, let's go. And so my first day going live, I made $257. I don't know a clue what I was doing. I can tell you that right now. I called her like, oh my God, let's do it again. She was like, that was easy, wasn't it? I was like, yes, let's do it again. And it was at that moment, I haven't looked back. I haven't had a 9 to 5. I did not go back to the casino. It was about a week and a half before it was time for me to go back to work. And I was sold from there. And to see so many lives being changed in front of your eyes that look like us, like, it was beautiful. I went to Houston, Texas in September 2020. And I started this May of 2020. And I went to Houston, Texas, and it was like 3,000 to 4,000 people that looked like us. The majority of them were younger than us. And it was, I just seen these lives being changed. Everybody on the same wavelength, the same mindset, the same goal in mind, you know, to really put themselves on the map, change the trajectory of their lives and, you know, their families and their families. I cried. I literally cried. I was like, you don't see this often. This is beautiful, you know, and then for it to be younger than us, because had we known about this, you know, who knows where our life would be. But again, it's about, you know, timing. And, you know, I don't know where I would be had God put this type of money in my life 10 years ago. You know what I mean? I'd have been out here wilding for real. So I just, you know, I'm super grateful for this. And, you know, to be able for Orlando to come at a position where I was like, hey, you know, I know him from church. And, you know, and it came to a point where I was like, we always, you know, hung out outside of church. You know, I would, if we had, you know, a little get together or something, I'd reach out to him just because there's certain people that, you know, you really rock with. And so I reached out to him. I'm like, hey, I got this opportunity. And, you know, it was wild. He just like, man, I did this before. I said, what happened? He was like, it just wasn't it. I'm like, look, come, it may not have been it for you at that time, but I'm telling you, this is the time, okay? And of course, he, you know, he gave it a shot. He was like, I trust you, Ericka. And he was like, I think I'm gonna give it another shot. And when I tell you, it's been the best teammate, the best mentor. Like he has definitely, you know, really just put in the work. He did what he was supposed to do. He followed directions. You know, I tell everybody this is an advanced educated version of follow the leader. If you can follow directions, which we all learned how to do in kindergarten, then you can make some money. But again, you know, some people say, you know, if it's, you know, so easy, why isn't everybody doing it? Well, brushing your teeth 2 times a day and flossing is easy too, but everybody don't do that. So you know what I mean?
That part.
It's true. So so you talked about you guys getting connected together. So what made you guys want to partner up and obviously like start a business and share what you guys are doing with people? Because obviously Ericka, you all about helping people. In Orlando, you talked about it. You're all about giving back. So what made you guys want to come together and package up this product together and get it out there?
Well, I could be honest with you. When I first started, I didn't want to talk to nobody. I was just like, let me make my money and I'll be out the door. But it wasn't until you really, when you divulge yourself into it and you see the value that this opportunity brings and how it can really benefit other people, like, it would be selfish of you not to share this information because somebody shared this information to you. You know what I mean? And so when I seen it like that and, you know, that value was brought to me and opened my eyes like that, it was only right for me to be like, hey, what's up? And I got people knocking on my door like, what you doing? You know what I mean? So it's really not, it's a matter of you just opening your mouth and saying something. It's not like I'm hounding anybody to learn this information. Like, they really want to know. My daughter is 12 and she's super interested and she trades. So
get it.
Yeah.
Get it.
Yeah, man. And like kind of like what you were saying earlier, Mykel, about, you know, we don't really see people that's looking like us doing a lot of stuff collectively. And so at least me growing up, like, I'll be the brother, be like, hey brother, those shoes are dope. Where you get those, man? He'd be like, don't worry about it, bruh. I'm like, what? It's a pair of shoes. You know what I'm saying? So the goal is to change the whole narrative of that, right? Every time I see brothers and stuff on the street, I'm embracing those brothers. Why? Because we don't see enough of it. And so the fact that we're in business together, literally have the opportunity to create the Black Wall Street all over again, man. And that's what it's all about, especially out here in San Diego. You know what I mean? And it's been one of those things. And like she was saying, I mean, when you see people that look like us and they're killing it as far as the money is concerned and as far as the impact that they're being able to do. I mean, there's cats out here right now, you know, that's involved in this business, been doing it for a few years now, but they're able to give X amount of dollars in scholarships away to HBCUs. I mean, so the impact is huge, man. And that's really what it's all about. So our goal together, why we decided to partner up, was just a prime example. It's just like, well, we there's an African proverb, right? If you want to go fast, you go alone. But if you want to go far, you go together. So I believe that as a collective effort and unit, cohesive unit, we can do a lot of good out here in San Diego, man. And that's what it's all about.
Hold on, man. You got to say that again. Please say that again for the listeners.
We call him the poet. We call him the poet on the team because he speaks so profoundly. And we just be like, say it again.
Nah.
You need to say the proverb again, man. Pray to say the proverb.
I got you. It's an African proverb. It says, if you want to go fast, you go alone. But if you want to go far, you go together.
Man, so that leads me into my next question. So because I've dealt with partnerships, I actually just recently started a venture, or it kind of ended a little bit because of COVID, but I'd seen how big of an impact I can have with having a partner. So how do you guys offset each other? Why do you guys feel like you guys work well together? And what would be your advice if someone else out there is trying to partner up to build a team? Like, anyone can go. How do you guys feel about that?
Be open to listen.
Right. I mean, that and also too, like, I mean, me and Ericka got, you know, years of history, just knowing each other throughout the church, and we both actually ventured in acting too. And so it was just all, you know, it's how you have friends, but then you have those friends that's like you don't really talk to as much. But when you talk to them, it's like you talk to them all the time.
Yep.
That's the type of relationship that we've built over the years. And so, like, we're just able to bounce back off of each other. And so, like, whatever she gonna do, I'm gonna back her up. Whatever I'm gonna do, she's gonna back me up. And it's just, you know, it's only certain people that you can do that with and that you can be transparent with and actually have those uncomfortable conversations with. And we've had plenty of them. And so the main thing I think is accountability. If you can find somebody to keep you accountable and to keep somebody else accountable, that's what it's all about. And you can have a real partnership that you guys can really gel together and do some damage out here, man.
Yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough. I know, like, for me, my beginning of an entrepreneur, like I said, I didn't really have guidance. My pops talked a lot about, you know, entrepreneurship, ownership, and things like that. But me seeing him like partner up and build something great and equity and assets and all that, I never saw that. So when I was actually starting as a business owner, I thought I had to do everything myself. I thought I had to take the whole business, throw it on my back, and just do everything myself. And as I started to develop and speak to other entrepreneurs and get mentorship, they all talked about growing. In order for you to grow and scale, you got to bring someone in to help you, because like you said, if you want to go far, you have to build a team. You got to work together. So that's crazy, man. Like I wouldn't say it's crazy. I feel like it's very inspirational for people to understand. And even Ericka, like you said, someone gave you the game, so it's only right that you pay it forward, right? So,
Absolutely.
and also just being able to build with other people. So if someone, because we all kind of have that same journey of like just trying to just go out there and start our own stuff. So if someone that you guys knew and you're in a room with them and they're trying to decipher if they should go to a 9-to-5, but they're also thinking about starting a business, like what would be the advice or some steps that you would give them to help them along the way to actually move and take that plunge into entrepreneurship?
Belief. You have to have an overwhelming sense of belief that it is going to work. It has to work. You need it to work, because that's really the deciding factor of someone going to work or someone, focusing on their dreams to actually make it happen. Because I can tell you, I could have easily went to work and found another job. It's very easy for me to go to work and find jobs. But when it came to me deciding, was I going to go get another 9-to-5, or was I really going to try to make this opportunity work? I had the belief factor that it was going to work for me. I needed this to work for me because I didn't want to go back to work. You know what I mean? So if you believe so highly that you have to, because nobody else is going to motivate you like yourself. You know what I mean? You can hear so many different words, you can read so many different books, but if you're not actually putting those words to action and applying those words and applying all that motivation, they're just words at the end of the day. So it's just really having that overwhelming sense of belief that you're going to work, and then put the effort, and then manifesting it. I'm very big on manifesting. Orlando will tell you that I manifest everything. I have a notebook right here, manifestations. I write them down like sentences. I'm not even lying with you. Like I write it down like I used to get in trouble, and my dad, that was my punishment, writing sentences thousands of times. Like my dad's wild. And so when I do it, and
Mine too. My mom's do all the time
down 25, I'd be like, dang, like, you know what I mean? Like when I make my kids do it, I can see what they mean. But if I can do so much as to write down a manifestation to remember to do something because I'm in trouble, why can't I do that with my goals, my dreams, my aspirations, my personal development? I write in there, I'm going to be a better leader, a better listener, a better understanding. You know what I mean? And all of those types of things, like once you start to truly believe that stuff and act upon it, you know what I mean? Then there's no way you can fail. There's really no way you can fail.
Absolutely. Shoot, just to piggyback on that, circle of influence too. I always say to people, associations are everything. If you're constantly around people that's going to be negative, just giving off the wrong energy. I mean, it's always good to love people from a distance. You know what I'm saying? Because you have to make up in your mind that this is something that you actually want to do. It does help somebody to have somebody to keep you accountable, maybe even a mentor that's trying to pour into you to see what it is that you're trying to do. I don't care if it's opening up the little lemonade stand, right? You know what I'm saying? If this is something that you really want to do, you're going to do whatever it takes to get it done. If not, you're just going to make excuses. There's no execution. It's just excuses. You know what I'm saying? And so so to somebody that would like to start and they're trying to find out, what is it that I want to do, or do I want to get a 9-to-5? My question to them would be, well, what is it? What is your intention on building the business? What is it that you're trying to get to? What is your ultimate goal, right? What have you thought about doing? Have you ever, looked into anything? I mean, there's so many questions.
What is your why?
That can be asked. Yeah, what is your why? What is your why? That's a big one, right? Because a lot of people want businesses and they want a lot of money, but they never know why. And those are usually the businesses that fail. My why for this particular business is to literally change the trajectory of my whole family bloodline, right? From me on down. Legacy is everything, right? But my why is different from your why, different from Ericka's why, but we all have something in common. We have a why. You know what I'm saying? And so that's probably the first question I will ask. First and foremost, why is it that you want to start this business? It's a great idea, but why are you doing it?
Right? Making a decision.
Right.
Making a decision to do it, because indecision, whether you like, I don't know what I want to do, indecision is still a decision, but it's a decision not to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
The funny thing about standards, Mike, I don't know if you thought about it like this, but I was just thinking about it the other day. Like, let's say you were talking in class one day. I told Ericka about this, and they was like, okay, you got to go right. I went out talking class on the board like 100 times, right? But psychologically what it was doing, it was actually getting us into the habit of repetition. We were actually manifesting us not talking anymore. But we never really thought about that. We just thought about something that, you know what I'm saying? We didn't want to do it, but we did it so many times. And there was a pastor friend that always told me, repetition deepens the impression. The more you're doing something, the more it's going to impress upon you to either get it done or not do it ever again. And so like, we were literally taught these tools as kids, but we never really honed the skill to perfect it in the long term. And I think now we have that, stepping back into that, it's almost like building a new muscle again. You know what I mean? Consistency too. Consistency is a big one. You know what I mean? So consistency, effort, you know, you can get the results. Belief, you can definitely get the results. Don't quit.
I can tell you, it's been many days that I have been discouraged. It's been a hard day for me, right? And it was my team around me, my environment. Like, you know what I mean? I didn't quit. The difference between me and the person who is working that 9 to 5, who aspires to have a job, is that I didn't quit. You know what I mean? And I was consistent through it all. I had faith through it all that it was going to work, like it had to. You know what I mean? Like, I can't fail because this has to work. That's all I got. You know what I mean? And when people look at it like that, as opposed to, oh, this is my plan B, you can't have a plan B when it comes to being an entrepreneur. You have to have that plan A. Hold to that plan A and see it through to the end. Because, you know, knowing that you have something to fall back on, like a 9 to 5, that's just, you're not going to have the motivation to move forward. Like, don't, Steve Harvey said it very well, and I took notes on it. Don't let your environment prevent you from being the oak tree that you are. Right? If you're going to be around 4 brokies or people that work a 9 to 5, you're bound to be the 5th, right? But if you surround yourself around positivity and people who you aspire to get the success that they have, you're bound to only move in that direction as long as you do the work. You know what I mean? Because faith without works is dead. So at the end of the day, you still have to put in the work. You can manifest whatever you want, but doing the work and being consistent through it all, you're going to see results.
Yeah. I mean, I think the biggest thing like that stuck with me too is like manifestation. And we just dropping quotes, y'all, we doing our thing. But I heard a quote a few years ago, and it said, goals are the architect of the imagination. And when us as entrepreneurs, our imagination is what's driving us. It's what we're manifesting. And one thing that I've learned that I've gotten better at is setting those goals, because now I see it. You know, I had a good friend of mine, Michael Brunker. He was actually the exec at the YMCA of San Diego. He was a mentor of mine. And one thing he told me, I came in there and was just firing off, just telling him everything I was trying to do. And he was like, Mykel, you need to calm down. And he said it in that real deep voice, Mykel, you need to calm down, man. You need to, you know, if you ever met Michael Brunker, he has a deep voice, right? And he told me, he was like, you need to sit down and you need to set your goals. And like what you said, Ericka, manifest what you want. Give the end goal first. Some people can't think about what their next step is. Sometimes they have to think like, okay, I want to have job security. That may be you. I want to be able to take my family on a vacation, an all paid expense vacation, and I have to worry about it. I want my kids to be able to have opportunities to do X, Y, and Z, right? That's your why. That's what you want to manifest. And then you reverse engineer that and you start setting those goals to actually get there. And Orlando is kind of talking about what you said too, repetition. You know, you start out with just one standard, right? Then you do a second standard, then a third standard. And then by the time you know it, it just is, that's muscle memory. And now that's probably one of the best things you can ever have in your life is just muscle memory. When you just, and it's a good habit. You know, me being a dancer, I know a lot about muscle memory. And when someone on my team kept messing up, I'm like, bro, get it together. I'm trying to go home. It's 2 a.m. I got to go to school in the morning. So it's all those things kind of wrapped up in one that I think are traits that successful entrepreneurs really have to hone in on and figure out. And the biggest one is like you said, mentorship. Find someone that's in, or so if you don't have mentorship, surround yourself with like-minded people, at least, because you'll definitely. Another quote: at some point in your life, you're no longer the product of your environment, but you're the product of your own decisions. So you can't blame anybody else. When at some point, man, you got to take responsibility. You're choosing, like you said, sometimes not saying anything, you're saying a lot. Let's dig a little deeper into like just mentorships. Mentorships is something that I hold dear to me because I've had a lot of mentors. Have you guys had mentors? How have they helped you? Like, what do you feel like? Obviously, Orlando, you said Ericka's been a mentor to you, but so how has mentorships helped you guys in like your growth as an entrepreneur?
Well, my first experience with a mentor ever has been through a program called Partners. And so, growing up, my parents divorced when I was probably like maybe 6, right? And so, like when I was in middle school, I got into what they call the Big Brother program. And so it was Partners. So my first mentor was actually an Asian dude, which was really different. But it was a great experience. I think it helps definitely shape where the kids go if they don't have like either, don't get me wrong, I had a father figure in the home. They were just in separate homes, right? So I always had a great relationship with my pops. But while I was here, I needed an older brother or something like that in that regard to be able to, talk to, help show me the ropes, and so on and so forth. And so that was my first encounter with a mentor. So I would say that is huge. When it comes to the business side, you definitely need them because they've been where you're trying to go, or they've been where you are and they are where you're trying to go. And so who better to give you the advice to go ahead and get to where they're trying to get to than that person that's already there? You know what I mean? Because a mentor, they're going to, like I was mentioning earlier, they're going to have those uncomfortable conversations with you when you don't want to hold yourself accountable. They're going to make sure that they keep reminding you of your goals, especially if it's a mentor that really cares about you. They're going to pour everything they can into you, right? Because they see something else, that's something that somebody else doesn't see in you. You know what I'm saying? So they're going to pull the greatness out of you, or like we say in our business, they're going to hold you to your greatness. You know what I'm saying? They're going to hold you to whatever goals that you set for yourself. I think mentorship is very important. I think it helps keep a lot of kids off the street. I think it keeps a lot of kids out of, wrongful activities. I'll just say it in that way. And I think it's just really, really beneficial, especially in the Black community. I mean, for those that really don't have fathers in the household, it's a big benefit to them because those kids can still get out, go to college, play ball, get a job, do whatever they want to do. So if you have a mentor that truly cares about you, is going to hold you accountable, I think it's definitely beneficial, for sure.
There you go. How you feeling, Ericka? What's your thoughts on it?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, like I've been a part of, different opportunities where they'd be like, okay, go ahead and do it. You got it. I'm like, well, what am I doing? You know what I mean? But then it comes to me being able to be a part of something like this, where you have someone who, like he said, genuinely cares about you and cares about your success. And you can see the big difference in it. Someone who, leads you, guides you, molds you into be the person that you aspire to be. You know what I mean? Someone said that you listening to yourself, you're only going to get so far and get only as far as you've ever gotten. Well, that's not very far. You know what I mean? So you have those people that, genuinely care and are there for you to really give you the insight, give you that uncomfortable motivation, have those conversations with you, to get to the next level. And it's just a matter of you as your person to listen. You know what I mean? Listen to that, apply what they're saying so you can get to the next level, because some mentors will tell you, oh, hi, baby.
Yeah, my daughter.
Some mentors will definitely tell you, like, I can't give you any more than what I've given you because you haven't listened. Yep. And they had a whole nother level to it. It's like, are you a coach, a mentor, or a leader? Because if you're a coach, that just means that I'm giving you direction and you're not listening. Yep. So I'm just your coach at this point. I'm motivating you, but it's not doing nothing. Then a mentor, you're actually like, okay, you're teeter-tottering between the two. Like, oh, are we doing something? Are we not? You going back and forth. And then the leader is actually someone who you actually listen to. You actually get that insight from. You're applying whatever they're telling you to. So it's levels to it, to be honest with you. And who it comes back to that self-accountability. What are you? Who are you to become? What do you want to gain from this individual so that you can move to the next level? Because clearly we see them, they have the success that you desire. And are you willing to actually listen to them so you can get to the next level? And that's what I love about this opportunity is that, we have so many people that pour into us daily. Okay. And we get so much insight, so much knowledge from these people. But at the end of the day, knowledge is power. And, to know and not do is to not know at all. Yeah. So it's just a matter of, putting action to, what you're actually doing and saying.
Yeah. And one thing that I believe in knowledge, I'm actually writing a book. It's titled Not a Product of My Environment. And one thing that I talk about is knowledge is power, but I think applied knowledge is key. And the reason why I say that is because there's a lot of different people that I mean, I work alongside and I see people all the time that have degrees and all these PhDs and master degrees and all these different things. And they've been exposed to all this knowledge, but they don't utilize it. Or, you know, they've been for, you know, we all seen that person that you have a parent, someone that you grew up with, and you see like, oh my gosh, if my parent was like that, you know, if I was getting exposed to this and this and this, like, what would I do with it? So I think it's really important for people to understand that. And we kind of talked earlier in our conversation about if people want to get into business, what should they do? We also just kind of talked about, hey, what are the motivations? How do you seek information? How do you grow? So with that said, what are you guys doing? How do you guys feel like, what's the trajectory of your guys' business? What do you see in the next, let's say 12 months? What are some things that you guys are planning for your guys' business and your endeavor together?
Go ahead, E. You want to take this one? You want me to take it?
Lights just lit up.
Yo, bro, I'm trying to tell you, bro.
That overwhelming belief factor. Like, we have so many goals for this business. We will be the Rebellionaires. I can tell you that's what we're called. We will be a 6-figure organization by the end of 2021. And we are trying to really impact as many lives as possible during that time and share this opportunity because we see the value. We know what it can do for your life. We know what it can do for your future. You know, what I tell people is that we are breaking generational curses and creating generational wealth. And that is what we are doing every single day. And I see it, so many people making withdrawals, you know, on a daily, you know, creating residual income for them, making money in their sleep. It's really wild to see, like, just because 6 months ago, I'm just sitting at home like, pressing a button. But now being able to impact others to be able to do the same, it's really crazy how we about to take off with this. It is wild. It really is.
Man, when I tell you, bro, this, I call this business literally the collar t-shirt stretch, right? Imagine your brain as a t-shirt collar. The moment you stretch that thing, you know how you stretch something and it don't go back to the same? That's how your mind expands here, bro. Like, it's as far as the personal development is off the charts. I mean, we got some of the best mentors in the world. One of them, namely, is Bob Proctor. I mean, and he talks about, you know, like that movie, The Secret, talks about manifestation, talks about literally making yearly income, a monthly income, and all just kind of stuff. So, man, like the end of 2021, it's scary, bro. I'm gonna just say it like that. It's just scary because it's one of those things where I'm just excited. I mean, I know it's going to be great. I just can't wait till the results come in. I can't wait till we achieve those goals that we're looking forward to achieve. And I can't wait for, most importantly, the lives that are going to be impacted by this, man. And that's, like I said, we have a slogan in our business. It's impact over income all day long. You know, instead of me giving you fish, I'm going to teach you how to fish yourself so you can feed your whole family and then some. You know what I mean? Like, that's what we're all about.
Man, so that's really going to wrap up our conversation. So how can people get involved and be a part of what you guys are doing and seek out your guys' guidance? How can they do that?
Well, you can definitely hit us up on, on IG. I don't know if we can shout out our IGs on here.
Whatever you guys want, cool. The name, all that, so people can get a hold of you guys. And I'll also put it in the show notes if you guys are listening to this on the podcast, when you are. And also for YouTube, I'm going to put it in the description. But you guys can go ahead. Tell them how they can find you guys.
Yeah, so if anybody wants to get to first of all, just to be introduced to the information and get a more visual of what we actually do here at I Am Mastery Academy, you can contact myself or Ericka. My IG is O_notes. That's NOTES. Again, that's O, the letter O _NOTES. O_notes. Feel free to send me a DM. You know, we can definitely set up a time to either chop it up, or we can set a time to get you to sit down and see a visual of what it is that we actually do.
And I'm also, you can catch me at the Ericka Tucker, TheEricka Tucker. And if you want just some more information, you can actually go to our website with our mother organization, millionairewealthbuilders.org. It gives you a full rundown of what we are, what we do. You know, it shows you, you know, how you can get started within the first 48 hours. You can make money within the first 24 hours of you getting started. No cap. Ain't that what the kids say? But literally, this is the area that will seriously change your life if you really take it serious. Like I said, this is an effort-based business, but what you put out is what you're going to get back. And results is what we say all the time.
There you go. Well, to be honest with you guys, like I said in the beginning, I got to bring you guys back on because we talk more about just the mindset of the entrepreneur. I wanted you guys to help impact and help the entrepreneurs that are out there that are thinking about doing it, but I got to get you guys back on where you guys can help just share some game with the community.
I would love
Forex
to.
is. I would love for you guys to come back. It was a blessing, amazing talking to both of you guys. But
thank you so much for this opportunity. I appreciate it.
Man, thanks. Hey, Mykel, man, you already know we go back some years, man. It is a pleasure, bro.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this, man. I've watched you literally grow from where you were when we met in 2009 all the way up until now, and I am completely appalled and impressed by your growth. You know, when I knew you back then, I don't think you were married back then, but your growth, you know, dude, keep doing your thing, bro. I always seen entrepreneur in you. I always saw it, bro. And that's what I mean. Like when you are somewhere, but you know you ain't supposed to be there, it's like, you know, you got to be an entrepreneur. Yeah. And I've always felt that from you, bro. So I definitely want to commend you for sticking it out and sticking with the journey, man. Keep it going, bro. We need you. Yeah. Well, we need people like you out here, bro.
Well, thank you, man. Well, I need you guys to come back, and we definitely need your guys' game. Hey, generational wealth is something that I always talk about. So you guys are helping people break that cycle of oppression and just financial literacy. Like, you guys know the words, you know.
Stay on the fence. Just do it. That's all I say. Just do it like Nike. Just do it.
That's right.
Well, there you guys go.
Let's talk. Let's talk business.
Thank you so much for watching the podcast. If you enjoyed this content and you want to watch more content like this, please consider subscribing to my channel. You can also find my podcast, Let's Talk Business with Mykel the Entrepreneur. You can find it on any platform that you listen to podcasts.